The LPGA is back this week. All eyes will be on Brooke Henderson. Yeah, she didn't win in 2024, but she still had 9 top 10s and finished 13th in the race to the CME Globe. Okay, Mark, what do you think? Does Brooke get back in the winner's circle in 2025?
Okay, Brooke Henderson is just too good a ball striker, guys, not to win this year. I mean, there was an equipment change. We moved to, obviously, our friends at TaylorMade now for over a year. Came out of the gates hot when she made the equipment change. Last year was more about consistency, but, I'm going to sound like a broken record. She kind of has Rory McIlroy disease in a sense. When you raise the bar, when you are the greatest professional golfer that a country has ever produced, you are a victim of your own success. The bar is just too high. And we don't want to see consistency. We want to see you compete at majors. We want to see multiple wins in an LPGA Tour season. And for me, unless Brooke is able to achieve those things, these are going to be years that we kind of park and say, they're lost seasons. And I'm not trying to disrespect the level of consistency she had and the top 10s and the fact that she's still a world-class player. And the numbers suggest that and the rankings suggest that. But it's about victories. It's about legacy. She's won on Canadian soil. Check. She's a multiple major winner. Check. To me now, it's all about what can she do where history will look back at her in a different way. And the only way that happens is by adding major victories and adding multiple win seasons on the LPGA Tour.
Interesting there, Mark. Bob, what do you think? Does Brooke get back in the winner's circle in 2025?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I know she's taken some steps to try and improve her game and overcome some of the things that were holding her back last year. She did have some minor eye surgery late in the season in November and took some time off. Nothing too severe, but we know that she's been wearing those glasses. She actually talked about maybe she would go to contacts to do that. She was at the TaylorMade Kingdom and she went in under the putting lab and had some work done with her putter. And she's actually moved away from the center shafted putter that she's used for a number of years now to one that's kind of in the heel. So there's a change in her putting as well. And I think really you look at the fact that she's now in her 10th full year on the LPGA Tour. And I think I don't want to say the novelty of it has worn off, but I don't think she's a kid anymore out there in the playground. This is her job and she's working hard. So a little bit like what Nick Taylor went through last year, she got most of her top 10s in the first 8 events, 5 of them in the first 8 events. And the rest part of the season was kind of mediocre. There were some bright spots, but I think she just needs to even that out, go out there and play golf, enjoy it, have fun, and be the Brooke Henderson that we've come to know. And boy, when you see her out anywhere near Canada or even in the States, the fans who love her still are there in numbers, so she can enjoy that and feed off that a little bit.
It's funny you mentioned that, Bob. When I interviewed LPGA host Hope Barnett, she said the exact same thing about Brookapalooza, if you will. Now, there are some other Canadians on the LPGA Tour that golf fans maybe aren't as familiar with. Tell us about them.
Well, I think they're names that people recognize, perhaps. I mean, Monami LeBlanc, took some time off, came back. She is got tons of talent, one of the biggest, longest hitters on the LPGA Tour, and I think she could probably find a little bit of consistency with her game. She could be a threat as well. We've got the veteran Elena Sharp, who's just about to turn 44, and she's probably going to be the oldest player out on the LPGA Tour most weeks this season, but she is still energized. She is still kind of pumped to try and go out there and play, and she's never got that one win. It would be really neat to see her sink a win in there. And then you've got Savannah Gruel, who started her rookie tour last year. She was kind of looking around and trying to figure out where everything went. She did have a very good start to her season, but I think this will be a little bit easier for her. She'll kind of know where to go and what to do, and could focus a little bit more on her game rather than the stuff that's distracting her outside the ropes.
And of course, we'll also be focusing on Nelly Korda, who is coming off one of the greatest seasons we've seen in LPGA history.